Hello and welcome to another Planet Destiny video. Today we'll be taking a look at the new Hunter Exotic Gloves, Kepri's Sting. The perks are as follows: Primary Weapon Loader, increase the reload speed with primary weapons. Invigoration, reduce melee cooldown each time you pick up an Orb of Light. And the signature perk is called Touch of Venom, gain invisibility after crouching in place for a short time. Melee attacking an enemy from behind while invisible delivers 4 times damage. Touch of Venom works for either the Gunslinger or Blade Dancer subclass. The invisibility perk does not require you to be a Blade Dancer. It's also affected by Shadowjack, so it might be best just to use these on a Blade Dancer so you'll have more time to get in position and use the backstab damage. When we originally data mined these, this perk used to only deal damage over time if you meleeed someone while invisible, and while it doesn't say anything about that perk still being active, it most definitely still is, so add that to the bag of tricks that these gloves can do. So in PvE, Kepri's Touch of Venom spreads the invisibility love to gunslingers and doesn't require you to get hit, much like the Don't Touch Me gloves do. It can be used in place of Stalker on Blade Dancer 2, freeing up for Hungering Blade or Encore. It even stacks with Shadowjack, so you get more time to properly position yourself. Unfortunately, even 4 times melee damage from behind is not enough for us to really recommend going full melee on either Blade Dancer or Gunslinger. The increased damage does not work with Throwing Knife either. The fact is, you simply won't be behind enemies frequently enough to be dropping them like flies with your melee. Even if you try to go invisible and position yourself properly, enemies often bug out and still face towards you, rendering the last part of Touch of Venom useless. Consider it just a slight boost that can start off an engagement, but only if you can get out without being detected. The invisibility is the real selling point of these gauntlets, so if you want to be able to activate invisibility at any time, regardless of subclass, then these might be for you. The pure strength that these gloves offer is great for giving your special melee ability back, but that's about it. It's outclassed by intellect and discipline in almost every situation that doesn't involve Escape Artist. And Touch of Venom procs on every melee hit, so there isn't a huge reason to go for Fast Twitch and Blade Dancer either. The damage over time effect from these gloves is nice since it does trigger regardless of if you're behind an enemy or not. So if you can't properly get into position, at least you can get a dot on the target to help you keep a shield down. The damage from the dot isn't really anything to write home about. Its main feature is that it lasts for 9 seconds though, so longer than Thorn or the Sunsinger burns. Overall, for PvE, I'd pass on using these for almost all in-game content. Outside of very select circumstances where you'd want the on-demand invisibility, these just require you to put yourself out in harm's way for a very minor reward. Moving over to PvP, Stalker has always been somewhat of a gimmick, especially when it requires surrendering Hungering Blade and usually means full invisibility build as well. You'll be more or less able to have both with Kepri's Sting, which could be somewhat viable. Throw in a free backstab and you'll have a class that other Guardians might actually fear on the smaller maps where you might not notice an invisible target closing in behind you. Essentially, you'll either be rounding off your Blade Dancer's build with some extra toys, or adding invisibility to the Gunslinger's already very dangerous mix. Still, you'll only be successful if you're proficient at positioning and ambushing, otherwise you'd just be better off with another exotic. The dot will tick for 4 damage per second over 9 seconds, so it won't finish off a target that's full health and you miss your backstab, but it will do enough damage so a stiff breeze will kill the target once the dot finishes. So overall, these gauntlets are interesting, but that's about it. They don't offer a huge buff like Acleophage Symbiote or Mask of the Third Man. Kepri's Sting just offers a bunch of small stuff for your toolbox of pain. In the end, the small perks they bring are largely too situational to use these gloves over some of the other Hunter exotics. That being said about how they perform, they do look really cool. I hope you guys found this video helpful. This has been Patrick Casey with Planet Destiny, your guide to the Destiny universe.